Peace and love, everybody. I'm here with a new video. I was just doing some research. Well, actually, I wasn't doing any research. I was just thinking. I was like, man, I wonder what is the knowledge behind the name Popeyes for Popeyes chicken. I never thought about that, and sometimes we just don't take the moment to really just ask ourselves some simple questions. And I was just thinking, man, I wonder have anybody ever just asked themselves, why is it called Popeyes chicken? So I had to go do the math on it. So today, this video is not part of the Nutrition and Healing A to Z series as I've been doing. I'm gonna keep coming with that, but of course, I'm gonna keep making other videos, and I got a lot of other videos planned as I keep gaining information and gaining knowledge. But I just had to drop this real quick video. It's not going to be long, but hopefully this video can, you know, get people to start thinking critically, asking why, who, what, when, where, and how, things are or have come about into existence. So, as you can see, I went to Google. I said, where does the name Popeyes come from? And it say, how did Popeyes get its name? Alvin C. Copeland Sr. opens Chicken on a Run in the New Orleans suburb of Arabi, serving traditional Southern fried chicken. After several months of lackluster performance, he reopens the restaurant as Popeyes after Papa Doyle of the French Connection. This time he sells spicy New Orleans style chicken. Now, from this alone, I'm keying in on a few things. Number one, this is in New Orleans, and we know they known for, voodoo and magic, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not, necessarily saying there's something wrong with voodoo or magic or the things that they practice. I'm not saying it is, but, we just have to keep that in the back of our mind. Another thing I noticed is that this guy was not having success. So he just shuts down the restaurant, and whatever he did behind the scenes, he just changed the name, and then voila. Today, Popeyes is a world-renowned restaurant, fast food chain, still booming. Still booming. And I guess it was formed in 1972, and it's still going. Another thing I noticed is the French Connection. Now, I don't know a lot about this movie, but I assume it has to do with French people. Maybe, maybe not. But I know that the melanated peoples of New Orleans were Creole, and I know that Creole means that they were mixed with, French, I believe. African American mixed with French. And so, I had to go see, okay, what is this French Connection? Now, I've heard of the movie before, and I knew it was about drugs and things like that. So now I go and do the research on it. So the French Connection is a movie, is a film that's actually based on a screenplay that was actually comes from a book called The French Connection. And I'm not too concerned with that. I'm reading the Matrix, the code of the Matrix. I'm just tapping in, you know what I'm saying? And things pop out. When you got the eye to see, pop eye, things pop out to the eye. You see that? That's what I mean right there. That just impromptu, just things pop out to the eye, pop eye. And so I'm seeing 44th Academy Awards right here. Things just popping out. Well, we just get down to the plot. And here we go. Now, the reason I'm making this, the reason that I had to make this video is because really it's affecting the melanated people. And you'll see why. So it says, in Marseille, A police detective follows Alan Charnier, who runs the world's largest heroin smuggling syndicate. The policeman is murdered by Charnier's hitman, Pierre Nicoli. Charnier plans to smuggle 32 million worth of heroin into the United States by hiding it in the car of his unsuspecting friend, television personality Henry DeVreaux, who is traveling to New York by ship. In New York City, detectives Jimmy Popeye Doyle and Buddy Cloud Russo go out for drinks at the Copacabana. Popeye notices Salvatore Salboca and his young wife Angie entertain mobsters involved in narcotics. They tell the couple and establish a link between the Bocas and lawyer Joel Weinstock, who is part of the narcotics underworld. Popeye learns that a massive shipment of heroin will arrive within 2 weeks. The detectives convince their supervisor to wiretap the Bocas phone. Popeye and Clowley are joined by federal agents Monderick and Klein. Now, really, I'm not going to read anymore. I'm following the trail. I wanted to know what was the plot. This restaurant was named after Jimmy Popeye Doyle, who is the main character, one of the main characters in the movie The French Connection, which is about drug smuggling, and he's a detective. Okay, y'all might see where I'm going with this already. So I click on Jimmy Doyle and I read up on him. The guy who actually played him supposedly won an award, some type of award. I know it was a prestigious award in film. You know, maybe one of the Golden Globes, Oscars, something like that. But it says Jimmy Doyle is let's go down here to the French Connection. I'm just get right here into the French Connection. Here it goes right here. It says in the 1971. Now Popeye's chicken been around since 1972, so that we know that whoever made it really truly got the inspiration from this guy, a detective who look at this what this dude does. In the 1971 movie The French Connection, Popeye is a rough police detective who routinely breaks the rules in an effort to catch criminals. In this case, a group of French drug smugglers. Now, I hope y'all should be able to really see where I'm going. Because, you know, black folk love their chicken. And they love them some Popeyes. Oh, that chicken at Popeyes was good. I want to give me a biscuit. You know. But we're going to patronize and be a patron at these restaurants without even knowing the history. We're actually feeding this archetype now. We're feeding this archetype, which is a detective who routinely breaks the laws in an effort to catch criminals. And we've seen what's been going on in the news and media in the last few years. You know, I live in Alabama, especially here, where you know these groups, these police organizations, been getting busted for routinely breaking the law when it comes to African Americans. All right, and this is in New Orleans. It comes out of New Orleans. When you think New Orleans, you think African American, you think French, you think Creole. You know, there's a whole history when it comes to like this country and the Creole people. You know, but I'm not really getting into that. It's just what's popping out to the eye. You know, Popeyes, what's standing out. So we're going to patron this restaurant that was named after a fictional character in a movie that embodies the archetype of a police detective who breaks the law in an effort to catch criminals. So why are we patronizing these type of restaurants? And still to this day, love that chicken from Popeyes. They got the melanated people singing it, ringing them in with them old with the tunes, with the church bells. You know, so I kept going. You know, the original logo is a chicken, 1972, from Louisiana. You know, like I said, when you think Louisiana, you think black folk. You know what I'm saying? That's where the black folk at. You know, so I was thinking about Popeye, and I started thinking about, yeah, what about Popeye the Sailor Man? Okay, so I had to go check the origin of him out to a certain degree, and really I just got down to this part. Popeye's story and characterization vary depending on the medium, but originally Popeye got luck from rubbing the head of a wiffle hen. A hen is a chicken. So there's this Caucasian guy, once again, rubbing the head of a wiffle chicken. That's voodoo. That's magic. You getting luck by rubbing the head of a hen, a chicken. That's magic. So this guy is being empowered. We're empowering this archetype who's at this point, based on just this quick little synopsis. And I'm sure somebody can go deeper than that. We're patronizing this company, this organization, with this particular history, which I'm sure that most people don't know. I'm just sure that. I mean, who asked themselves, where did Popeye come from? Especially the new generation, they don't care. Popeye's chicken. I mean, it just, these names get so ingrained in history and in people's mind that no one even thinks. It's just, yeah, Popeyes. I'm about to go eat some Popeyes. Nobody really thinking about it. No thought come to their head but chicken and biscuits and honey when we saying this. But, look at the connection between Popeye, now he eating spinach now. He done rubbed the head of a wiffle hen. That's what obviously what this Alvin C. Copeland Sr. done in New Orleans, rubbed the head of a wiffle chicken. Now he don't even now Popeye the Sailor Man, he don't even eat meat no more. He don't get his power from meat. He get his power from vegetables. But all the while, all of the melanated people is coming and to give them their energy, their time, and their hard-earned money spent at these restaurants. They work in these restaurants. When you go into Popeyes, you see melanated people behind there. But we didn't. I mean, we're giving our energy into these archetypes, and we need to question that. We need to think about that. So I had to start thinking too. When we think about sacrifice, people to sacrifice. They sacrifice a chicken. There's a lot of animals that get sacrificed, but let's be honest. Like when we think about when we think about sacrifices back then, they ate the food. They ate the food. When they sacrificed back then, they ate the food after they sacrificed. They didn't just sacrifice and just leave it to waste. So really, we gotta, whenever we think about these animals that we eat, we gotta consider those sacrifices. Because back during when they was really sacrificing animals, for magic and mystical or religious purposes, which I'm not saying is right or wrong. I'm not even cluing in on that. But where's this energy going is what I'm saying. And whether it's right or wrong. All right. If you was doing it to feed your community and you was pouring libations and it was for the sake of going into the community to help the community rise up, okay. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but okay. But now that all these chickens is getting killed, because now I look at this, pork is number one. We know that's bad for you. A lot of people stopping to eat that. Well, number two is the chicken. But I look here and boom. Boom. Look at this. Global animal slaughter from 1961 to 2016. Look, all chicken outweighs everything else. You got 60 billion plus 70 billion chickens getting slaughtered. All right. And as compared to these other ones, they flatline. So compared to pigs, sheep, goats, and cows, it's flatline compared to chicken. That's 70 billion sacrifices. So where's all this sacrifice and energy going to? I'm gonna tell you where it goes to. You gotta follow the tail of the snake to the head of the snake. Travel back and see where it comes from. It comes from right here. Popeye door and black people wondering why they out there getting killed in the street and can't get no justice. See, whether you believe in any of this stuff, you even if you was a Christian, you have to know that it's spiritual warfare out here. Spiritual warfare. And people perish for a lack of knowledge. And ignorance of a law don't make you don't give you impunity from the repercussions. So even if you didn't know that about the law of gravity and you jumped off, a 10-story building, you're gonna die. Just because you didn't know, don't matter in real life. So we need to know the history and the science. This is the exoteric, not esoteric, exoteric breakdown of Popeye's chicken, a simple form. But like I always tell people, when I was in college, I went through college, I got an associate's degree and a bachelor's degree. But still to this day, I tell people the best lesson I learned while I was in college was actually from my orientation teacher. And her name was Miss Hinton. Hint, hint. I ain't never gonna stop telling the story. Her name was Miss Hinton. It was my college orientation class. And she kept on telling me specifically that things in life is so simple we miss it. Hint, hint. It's so simple we miss it. And that's been the greatest lesson that I learned in my entire time at college. And I went on from then in my life, looking in life and looking out there, seeing like what is out here so simple that we miss it. So simple that they put it in the book. So simple that it's right in front of our face. They say, hey, look out. Look, open your eyes and look out. What's the first thing you see? You start naming stuff. You miss your nose. The nose is the first thing you see if you was actually paying attention. But it's so simple we miss it. So, I just wanted to come and drop some quick knowledge because I was surprised. I'm not surprised because I knew it was going to end up being like this. So basically, every time you support the Popeyes, love that chicken from Popeyes. Every time you support that, you supporting the archetype of law enforcement who, hold on, let me tell you, let's go back here. Rough police detective, rough law enforcement who routinely breaks the laws in effort to catch criminals. Planting stuff on people, discriminating people, pulling people over for nothing. Yeah, that's going on and is widespread and rampant in America. And it's trying to be addressed, but I don't know how much is going to be addressed. That's why we got the George Floyds and all the other names out there, Trayvon Martin and all these other names. I mean, Sandra Bland and all these other names. The list can go on and on and on. So they routinely break the law in an effort to catch criminals, and especially when they looking at us like all of us criminals. So, it's not racist or not. It's just dropping the science. Did you know? That, and that's the question I asked. Did you know that the origin of this name was based off a fictional movie called The French Connection of Popeye Doyle, a policeman who routinely broke the law in order to catch criminals. And then we got all these black people going to Popeyes, working at Popeyes, and don't even know the history on Popeyes since 1972. So with that, I hope you learned something. I'm gonna leave you with that. 70 billion kills in. That's how many chickens been sacrificed. Every chicken that's killed is a sacrifice. Something for you to think about. Now me, to be honest personally, I'm vegan. I've been vegan for a long time. I really don't care what people eat. I just want people to be healthy. wealthy and prosperous. And any knowledge that you come across that can help you do that, you take action on it. So I hope this was new to you, some information that you didn't know. Take it, go run, tell somebody, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Peace and love.